Hey guys, this is Pat with MACkite here with Nick Baines from Reedin USA.
Hey guys, yeah, Nick Baines here with Reedin USA in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
So Nick, how'd you end up getting into kiteboarding?
Yeah, so I got into kiteboarding when I was 13 years old. My uncle, who's based in St. Croix, sent me a trainer kite, and I flew that thing religiously for a full year, and then purchased my first kite, a 2002 Slingshot Fuel, and took that thing out to the beach and learned how to fly the kite and learned the basics and took myself out of the ocean and basically got a really bad crash course into kiteboarding. Just taught myself fully self-taught, unfortunately.
That's awesome. So yeah, you taught yourself. Obviously, that probably helped you learn a lot about the sport. This teaching yourself, you learn everything the hard way, but you learn a lot, and so I'm sure this helped out with a lot with your coaching career then in the Outer
Yeah,
Banks.
definitely. I can take all the negative things I learned from teaching myself and take that into my coaching life and make sure that none of my students have to experience getting thrown into a trash can onto the beach like I did myself, or having to swim a full mile back into the beach. So I take all those negative experiences I had learning, and yeah, I mean, I apply it to my coaching life as well.
Awesome, yeah. So you live out in OBX. How long have you been out there for? Have you been giving? Did you move out there when you started giving lessons? How did that work out?
Yeah, so I originally moved here in 2008, as soon as I graduated from high school, and I taught for a couple years of real water sports, and that was really my intro into coaching and living in the Outer Banks. I moved back to Virginia Beach after a couple of years, but I came back to the Outer Banks in 2017. So I've been here since 2017, consistently living in the Outer Banks, coaching, and then now North America sales manager for Reedin.
Nice, that's awesome. So, having that much experience in the Outer Banks there, what would be your top three travel tips for someone coming there for the first time?
Yeah, so anybody coming to the Outer Banks, they typically come into shoulder season, that being the springtime or the fall time. I mean, with the wind statistics, I mean, we have really good wind statistics for the full year, but typically that April, May, September, October time, we have a lot better conditions for not only for sound kiting but also for the wave kiting in the ocean, which is a cool aspect of the Outer Banks. It's not only can you kite those beautiful slicks, but you can go and play in the waves. So that's a really good time of year to come. But I mean, the summertime, like July, our last July was the windiest month we had all year. So you never know. We have really good wind. July and August, typically it's not that 30 knots crazy wind, but you get a lot of days that are in that 15 to 20 knot range. It's really good for learning and good for progressing and also advancing your riding as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find a better place in the, at least stateside, that's better than the Outer Banks to really go in for a kite
Yeah,
trip.
definitely. I mean, I would say Hood River is also a really good option for North America, as well as the Great Lakes. Like the Great Lakes have some insane riding, but I would say our winds in the Outer Banks are just really consistent. The season's really long, so it's amazing. But I do like coming up there to Lake Michigan and kiting as well. Pier Marquette's an insane spot, and I mean, there's a lot of hidden gems around there.
There are, yeah. I mean, if you go to the east side of the state here, there's kind of a cool spot. It's Tawas. It's actually kind of similar to the Outer Banks. So there's a really good shallow spot there that you get some of that more steady, flat water, and
Yeah,
it's a neat
yeah, it's
spot.
beautiful.
Yeah. So top downwinder in LVX. I know it's kind of there's a lot of
Yeah,
options,
yeah.
a lot of really good
I mean, there's
ones.
a few that we can't really talk about, but yeah,
True.
but I would say top downwinder, maybe. I would say Planet of the Apes is probably the best downwinder, at least for
Yeah.
riding in the flat water on the sound side in the bay. Planet of the Apes is insane. There's a lot of really cool canals you can carve down and have a good time. There's some little pieces of land you can jump. It can be from 2 feet long all the way to 100 feet long. So it's cool place to go and progress with your land gaps, as we call them. But also it's an incredibly beautiful downwinder because you're out there. There's no buildings. You're kiting through marshes. We call it backcountry wakeboarding. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like if you're a wakeboarder and you didn't have to worry about water depth and where the boat can and can't go, this is like what you would want to do. So it's an incredible downwinder.
Yeah, that's a pretty great way to describe it. And so you've been pumping out some insane land gaps this summer. It's at least from your Instagram feed, looks like it's been pretty good for you.
No, it's been really good. Like I said, July, which is surprisingly not typically our windiest month, we had a few really good days in July, and we were able to go. And I think the biggest gap another rider, Austin Leader, and I did was like 120 yards. So it was pretty incredible, and especially in the summertime, it's so hot, and the land we're jumping over is getting superheated, and it creates these thermal updrafts. So jumping over land's so much fun. You can really feel it. It'll hold you in the sky forever, give you 10, 12-second long jumps. It's so cool.
That's awesome. So I guess kind of segueing into that, so you just recently jumped the Avon Pier, which insane video. I mean, I'm sure everyone that watches this will have seen that video, but if they haven't, definitely need to check out your Instagram. We'll link it in there. But when did that first become an idea for you to actually jump the pier?
I would say probably a year after I moved back to the Outer Banks. I've always had like a goal sheet for a lot of the sports I've done, whether it's soccer or skateboarding, surfing, whatever it is, like on moves I want to do, or like a stunt I want to do. And it's been on that goal sheet for about 4 years now to go and jump the Avon Pier or any of the fishing piers really on Hatteras Island. So yeah, it was like 4 years ago. It really hit that I wanted to do it. And yeah, I mean, me and a few other riders have been talking about it for a long time. Like I know Evan Nesh and we've tacked next to the Reedin Pier like quite a few times. Like I think today we could jump it, and we've kind of backed out. But yeah, for me personally, 4 years now.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a while. So what kind of prep work went into it for you, as far as, was there any prep work going into it, or is this kind of on the day, it just was happening?
Yeah, I mean, the day looked really good. It was supposed to be blowing 40 knots. Unfortunately, it's more in like the 27 to 32 knot range. So like in terms of preparation, like all the kiteboarding I've done in Cape Town, where you're going and jumping off waves and timing waves, it goes into it. I mean, even all of my surfing experience since I was like 8 years old goes into like a stunt like this, just because there's a lot of timing with reading the ocean and knowing when you're going to get the right wave and knowing where the waves are breaking. And then, I mean, I probably watched the Surfline camera for the Avon Pier for about an hour before I went out, just to make sure the waves are breaking into the right part of the pier, because there's a bunch of light posts. It's hard to see, but there's a bunch of light posts on the pier. So the waves need to be breaking in the proper spot for you to get a clean takeoff and shoot in between the light posts. But luckily, I was high enough where I was going over the light post anyway, so it really didn't matter in the end. Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, it looks like
a ton of prep work going into it. Yeah, and I would just say like the 19 years I've been kiteboarding, that everything I've done, all aspects of that help with doing a stunt like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and so was it that forecast that you saw that like you decided that was a day, or was this one of those things like whatever day it happened to be you're gonna do it on, but just kind of narrowed it down to that was the day?
Yeah, I mean, it really, like, what it really came down to was, like, we've had much better conditions, actually, for jumping over the pier. Even last May, we had a few knots of 40 to 50 knot north wind. That would have been better for it. But, I mean, I just, like, I felt like my riding was getting a bit stale this year, and it came, like, it just felt like I needed something to really set the tone for the wintertime. And that was just like a good stunt to do it. And one of the photographers that documented it, he was heading out of town that afternoon and was like, "Hey man, it's now or never." So yeah, a few things really like made it the day to send it.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to set the tone for the winter riding for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, it went pretty viral. I mean, I think Kook Slam picked it up. That one alone has over 150,000 views on it at this point, which is absolutely nuts. You got a new name out of it too, Jerry?
Yeah, it's so funny. Or Terry, or Larry. It's Larry.
Larry, it's Larry.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Dude, I still can't believe Kook Slams picked it up. It was like, it was perfect. It was kind of a weird one for them to pick up, but I mean, it's gotten a ton of views, so.
Views, yeah. Between them and Surfline, like, I mean, I was really appreciative of that. I mean, I've been surfing my whole life, so to get something on Surfline's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Yeah, so cool, definitely.
Yeah, and so like boots over straps. You're one of the few people I still like that I feel like are still riding boots. Right. Nothing wrong with it, but it's one of those things like, what makes you? Is it your wakeboard background? Is it a comfort thing? Like, what makes you decide to go with boots over straps?
Yeah, I'm just really, really confident with the VetaTech boot system that I've been riding. I've been using it for big air for 4 years now. And I mean, I've really tested those things. I've caught heel side edge in Cape Town, and it's a system that ejects when you hit the water hard enough. And then also, I mean, the advantages of having the boots for me doing big air are huge because you can hold down quite a bit more power with the binding. So I can hold down extra power, which is going to help me jump over the pier. And then also, if you have a bad takeoff and foot straps, there's a chance your foot can slide out. So that was the last thing I wanted to worry about while I'm jumping over the pier, is like a foot coming out, and then I'm trying to get the foot back in the foot strap. I'm going over a big giant pier, so that's why I picked boots that day. But I've been riding foot straps quite a bit more often, just because that's the progression of the sport right now. And I'm an old man, but I don't want to get left behind too far. So I've been doing a lot of board offs. I've been practicing a lot of new big air tricks. So. But yeah, for that kind of stunt, I was 100% picking wakeboard bindings over the foot straps.
Oh, that's awesome. No, the VetaTech ones are pretty sweet like that, where they do have that eject feature. I know Rago swears by them. I know you do. I've been meaning to pick up a pair myself to actually get back into boots. Man. I don't think I've ridden boots in like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, we got to send you a pair and get you to try them out. They're freaking amazing. And they're warm too, so for Michigan, that'd be great for you.
Perfect. And so you're using the supermodel for it. Big air kind of choice for you, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the thing works so well. Like this morning, I was riding with Ryder Decker, local pro here, in the waves, and the thing performs super well in the waves. But I mean, this is Kevin Langray's kite. If there's one thing it's going to do, it's going to boost the moon, and it's going to hold you in the sky forever. And that's, I mean, it's just such a fast turning kite, and it generates so much power through the turns. It's by far the most comfortable kite I've been on for jumping over land or going and doing mega loops or riding waves in crazy locations. It does it all for me. So yeah, really, really stoked to be on that supermodel and riding the Reedin equipment.
Yeah, that was awesome. You guys make some great stuff. And so I think I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask anyways. Favorite spot in the world to travel?
Oh, I would say it's probably between Maui and Cape Town, but yeah, Cape Town's taking the crown there. Or just all South Africa as a whole. The whole country is beautiful. There's tons of kiteboarding locations, and then also for me, like I said, I'm a surfer, so having the mobility, the availability of world-class waves around the kiteboarding locations is critical. And man, there's so many in South Africa. Like, I don't want to give up too many secret spots, but there are definitely places you can go there and kiteboard insane waves by yourself, or even do big air in some crazy locations by yourself. So yeah, definitely top of the list.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely on my list of places I need to get to still. Have yet to make it there. Definitely need to. One of these years, for sure.
Yeah. The culture is amazing. The people are awesome, and like for water sports, it's not really a secret, but like I said, you can go to locations and have a session all by yourself if you really want to.
Yeah. So, last question for you. Favorite burrito or menu item at Waves Deli?
That's a hard one. Well, I think I'm going to have to go with a steak burrito at Waves Deli. I think that's going to be the number one.
Classic.
I've had a couple of specials now. So for the Avon Pier jump, they made a Birdman chicken special for me. That was really good. There's a fried chicken sandwich with like some chili, honey chili on it. It was absolutely incredible. Yeah, a big shout out to Waves Deli for that burrito.
Yeah, if you're ever in OVX, definitely go Waves Deli. It's a must.
It is. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, Nick, anything else you want to add to anything? Or
No, just send it for everybody. Go out and send it for 2023. No matter what it is, try your best and have a good year.
Awesome. Thanks for hopping on today.
Yeah,
Nick.
thanks, Pat. I appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, we'll catch up soon.
Good. Bye.